I've been a corporate guy pretty much all my career since undergrad and after graduate school, and worked in various jobs in and around the finance industry. Started out in the West Coast of California, finally moved the family back here about 10 years ago, and ended up working my way up into a director level job here at an automotive supplier here in the area, and thought I had it made. Everything was going spectacularly well. I was very excited. I was on the way to becoming a vice president, and life was grand. And the day that really stands out in my mind from that time period was January 7th of 2004. And why that stands out to me is because I bought GM stock on that day, the day that it hit its all-time high, $55 a share. So that day is seared into my brain. But really that marked another watershed event in the history of the automotive industry here in the area, because it was the beginning of the end of the industry as we used to know it. The GM and the supplier that I was at started to decline at that time, and it's been a pretty steady decline ever since. Now, what I did at that point, thank goodness, is that, well, at that point being a director, I got to the point where if I had some catastrophic thing happen with my job, you know, we had taken my mother in, and I've got 4 kids and a stay-at-home wife. It wasn't like I could just go to Starbucks and get a job and even pay my mortgage. So I really, something catastrophic would have been a catastrophic thing for my family. So I had to do something extra. And of course, what happens when your company's not doing well is that you don't work less, you work more. And so here I am trying to find something else to do in a very limited amount of time. And so I looked at everything that was available, every get-rich-quick thing that you could find. Ended up with real estate, actually, because it fit into my time schedule really more than anything else. I'm best known as the guy that helps people get into set-and-forget real estate. I love being a landlord. I love being a rental property owner. Because the way that I have developed my strategy, my methodology, is that I buy a property, I get it rented, and I forget it pretty much. And it's just a combination of things where I select the right properties and I do tenant screenings. Those are really the critical success factors. I've developed a strong program to help folks understand what needs to happen for both of those things. So really, again, if you're a busy professional like I am, I don't have time to mess around with tenants and toilets, and I get maybe 1 or 2 calls a year from my tenants, and that's the only business that I could really, from a time perspective, afford to be. 98% of the cities in the Metro Detroit area, I won't even go look at a property in because they don't fit the profile. I expect every house that I buy or that my students or my partners buy, I expect it to cash flow on day one. I rented the last 3 of my properties before I closed on them and had them rented day one. I just did a rent up last night, actually, and I got a big hug from the tenant because she said this is the nicest house she'd ever found. The landlord in their prior house had kicked the door in because he wanted to get the washer and dryer before they moved and thought they were going to steal it. He literally kicked the door in while they were staying there. She came to my house. It was a beautiful, one of my beautiful houses, and thanked me, hugged me in tears because I was giving them a great place to live and they were never going to move. Those are the kind of tenants I get. And to add to that, I get tears when I buy my houses as well because I'm buying houses fast. I buy from folks that can't otherwise sell. And so I'm getting hugs and kisses from these ladies when I buy and when I rent. And so it's a great business to be. My daughter now, who's going into high school, is now looking for private investors so she can buy her first 2 houses before she graduates from high school because she never wants to have a job. I mean, how great is that?